We are shocked when a murder occurs, especially one with unusual circumstances. Serial killers tend to catch the imaginations and morbid curiosity of the public because we're forced to face the darkness or evil that is inherent in all people. But some cases are particularly appalling. Cases involving children are especially egregious. Those who abuse or kill children are often doubly punished. They are convicted and sentenced to prison time, then treated badly by other prisoners due to the nature of their crimes against children. But what happens when the murderer is a child? What pushes a child into the unthinkable action of killing another person? Most children who kill are victims of abuse or live in difficult circumstances. These killings generally involve a family member. An older sibling kills a younger sibling, a child kills a parent, or a child kills a sibling or peer with a gun out of anger. These child killers often have underlying mental health conditions, but they may not have a diagnosis because of their young age. There are outliers, however. One such boy is labeled as the world's youngest serial killer. Amarjeet Sada was born in 1998 in the village of Mushahar in Bihar, India. His parents were extremely poor, and the tensions only increased when his mother, Parul, gave birth to a baby girl when Amarjeet was 7 years old. Adding another person to the family stressed the family finances to their breaking point. Around this time, Parul and Balaram, Amarjeet's parents, noticed that Amarjeet's behavior was changing. Where previously he had played with other children in the village, he began to spend more and more time alone. He would climb trees and sit in them for privacy or roam outside the village alone. According to researchers, children who feel isolated by their peers may develop dangerous behaviors. It is possible that Amarjeet's poverty made him feel different from the other children in the village, leading to his feelings of isolation and loneliness. When they spend all their time alone, their imaginations may turn to fantasies in which they can control their lives. Possibly, Amarjeet was developing these ideas of needing to exert control over something or someone else in his life. Soon, a situation presented itself to Amarjeet. His mother's sister, Meena, had gotten a job as a maid in a nearby town. She had to move, but she had an infant son, which would make that process difficult. She brought her baby to Amarjeet's mother and asked her to take the child for 1 month while she got settled in her new job. Parul initially said that they could not afford to keep the baby, but Meena promised to send money from her first paycheck to help out. Reluctantly, Parul agreed. One day, Parul had to go to the market. She left Amarjeet in charge of his infant cousin and sister. 7-year-old Amarjeet approached the sleeping baby boy. He began pinching the child until he cried. Then he moved on to slapping the child and pulling his ears. Amarjeet grew tired of the child's crying and strangled him. He then took the baby to a nearby field and buried him under some brush. When Parul returned home, she asked where the baby was. He immediately confessed what he had done and showed her where the child was buried. Even after his father punished him for his actions, Amarjeet did not show any remorse. Parul and Balaram invented a story to tell Meena when she returned and discovered that her child was dead. The family kept this murder a secret. Distressingly, Amarjeet had enjoyed murdering his cousin, and by the time he was 8 years old, he had his sights set on his next victim, his 8-month-old baby sister. When his father was working and his mother was asleep, Amarjeet took advantage of the opportunity to kill again. As before, he pinched and slapped the baby, then strangled her. When Parul woke up from her nap, she discovered her lifeless infant and her son sitting with a smile on his face. When she asked why he attacked his sister, he asked, "What wrong have I done in killing her?" Once again, Amarjeet's parents tried to hide the tragedy. They didn't report Amarjeet to the police and even convinced their extended family to keep the secret, which they called family matters. Perhaps, if they had intervened, a third tragedy could have been avoided. 3 months later, Chinchen Devi left her sleeping 6-month-old at a primary school while she went to the market. While she was gone, Amarjeet found the sleeping child. He took the infant from the bed, strangled her, and hit her head with a brick until she died. Then he buried the infant nearby. Even though Amarjeet's family had agreed to keep the secret, rumors had leaked out. When Chin Chin returned to collect her child and discovered that she was missing, she immediately suspected Amarjeet. She found him and confronted him with accusations of murdering her baby. He confessed easily, and even with a sense of pride when he told her what he did. Soon after, Amarjeet led police to where he buried the baby. This time, Amarjeet's actions could not be hidden. Police took Amarjeet into custody. Police questioned Amarjeet about Chin Chin's baby. Officer in charge, Shatrughna Kumar, reported that Amarjeet smiled during the interrogation and said that he would answer all of their questions if they would give him some cookies. While in custody, Amarjeet underwent extensive psychological testing to determine what could lead a person to kill 3 babies at age 8. Police believe that he targeted babies because they were young, small, and couldn't fight back. The shocking murders of infants carried out by a young boy led many to try and understand what mental disorders Amarjeet might have that would contribute to these behaviors. One psychiatrist diagnosed him with a conduct disorder. However, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual 5th edition does not include murder in the definition of conduct disorder, though it does identify a lack of remorse or guilt and a lack of empathy as part of this disorder. Amarjeet's behavior of willingly admitting to his crimes and not showing any concern for the feelings of others falls in line with these descriptions of a conduct disorder. Psychologist Shamshad Hussain stated that Amarjeet was a sadist who derived pleasure from inflicting injuries on other people. Sadism is no longer considered a distinct disorder. Instead, it is considered to be a personality trait. The most accurate statement about Amarjeet's mental state came from a third professor of psychology at Patna University who said, "The boy does not have a sense of right or wrong." This description aligns with antisocial personality disorder, also called sociopathy. People with this disorder do not have a sense of right or wrong, as previously stated. They commit criminal activities, are hostile and aggressive, feel no guilt about hurting other people, and demonstrate a lack of remorse for their behaviors. Amarjeet presented all of these behaviors in his young life. Typically, people who are diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder have a previous diagnosis of a childhood conduct disorder. In Amarjeet's case, he seemed to have skipped over the milder conduct disorder and moved directly into antisocial personality disorder. Certain environmental factors, like a family history of mental illness, abuse or neglect, or an unstable home life, may have also contributed to the development of antisocial personality disorder. Amarjeet's family did live under severe financial stresses, but he was not abused as a young child. In fact, his mother doted on him because he was the only son. Once Amarjeet was in custody and had been evaluated by mental health professionals, he had to be placed in the Indian justice system. Children who commit crimes in India are not allowed to be sent to prison. Instead, children between the ages of 7 and 12 are sent to care homes until they are 18. In Amarjeet's case, he was sent to a children's home at age 8 and was released under a different name when he was 16. Due to his new identity, Amarjeet's current name and location are unknown to the public. He is free to live his life as he chooses. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts down below.